There is a third group as it pertains to this principle. And whatever it is said to them, the scholars are not infallible in that we do not accept their statements simply because of their status and personality. They deem this as disrespecting the scholar or secretly hating them, wanting their downfall, that you are hiding hizbiyah, that you secretly wish to aid innovation and its people, that you secretly wish to attack and oppose the Salafis, etc., etc., from the numerous attacks on one's intentions and their heart, or the affairs of their heart, that no one knows but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Individuals such as this have been described by the well-known alim and muhaddith al-Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Muallimi al-Yamani rahimahullah ta'ala in his well-known book At-Tankeel bima fi ta'nib al-Kawthari min al-Abatil. He describes this phenomenon that we have just finished describing, which is those who go to extremes. Those who go to extremes regarding the people of nobility, the people of status, the people of knowledge, to the point that when they are cautioned about going to extremes, they accuse those who caution them of harboring hatred for that person of nobility, or that person, in our case, that person of knowledge. And so let us listen now to that which Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Muallimi al-Yamani rahimahullah ta'ala has mentioned regarding this phenomenon. And so this, you should, while hearing his words, remember that which you see in this current time and the manifestation of that which he is mentioning in our current time. And that we have seen the likes of what he is going to say, or what we're going to mention from his words, that we have seen it all around us. Wal-iyadu billah. And so Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Muallimi rahimahullah states, من أوسع أودية الباطل الغلو في الأفاضل ومن أمضى أسلحته أن يرمي الغالي كل من يحاول رده إلى الحق ببغض أولئك الأفاضل ومعاداتهم. ويرى بعض أهل العلم أن النصارى أول ما غلوا في عيسى عليه السلام كان الغلاة يرمون كل من أنكر عليهم بأنه يبغض عيسى ويحقره ونحو ذلك. فكان هذا من أعظم ما ساعد على انتشار الغلو، لأن بقايا أهل الحق كانوا يرون أنهم إذا أنكروا على الغلاة نسبوا إلى ما هم أشد الناس كراهية له من بغض عيسى وتحقيره، ومقتهم الجمهور وأوذوا، فثبتهم هذا عن الإنكار وخلى الجو للشيطان. وقريب من هذا حال الغلاة الروافض وحال القبوريين وحال غلاة المقلدين. So Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Muallimi rahimahullah ta'ala mentions, from the vastest valleys of falsehood is exaggerating regarding the people of nobility and status. And from the sharpest of weapons, meaning that are used by those who do this, by those who go to extremes, from their sharpest of weapons is that the ghali, meaning the one going to extremes, throws the accusation at all those who attempt to return him to the truth in order to maintain balance, meaning when they are told stop being extreme, stop going to extremes regarding the ulama, and to maintain balance, they accuse, or they throw the accusation at all those who attempt to return them to the truth, that they have hatred towards those noble individuals and enmity. And some of the scholars hold that when the Christians first went to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, those individuals who went to extremes would accuse all those that disproved of them doing so, that they hated Isa alayhi salam, and that they were belittling him and the likes of that. And this was from the greatest of affairs that aided in the spread of ghulu, of this ghulu. And likewise, if we ponder and contemplate, today when we see individuals who, when scholars' statements is not taken, or when they are refuted or criticized for having ghulu to a particular caller, they accuse them and their audience that this individual who has criticized them for this ghulu only wishes to bring that scholar down and is only aiding their hatred for this scholar, or only hiding their hatred for this scholar. And so similarly to the Christians, those who, when Isa alayhi salam was, when they were told not to go to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, not to raise him and give him uluhiyya, and not to raise him to the level of a God that is worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they accuse those individuals of hating Isa alayhi salam. And likewise we see today, when individuals are told not to raise this scholar to the level of infallibility, whereby you take his statements as if it is revelation, and then make it binding upon others, and label others as misguided simply for not taking the opinion or the position of this particular scholar, because that which that scholar has said or presented may not be clear to them that that is the truth. What they do in that situation is that they tell their audience that this individual who has criticized us for going to extremes regarding this scholar, that the only reason that they are doing that is the hatred that they hide in their hearts, the hatred that they have in their hearts towards this scholar. And so then what has informed them of that which is in the hearts of the people? And how is it that they have come to know that which the people hide in their chests? Except that this is only a tactic to deflect and to be left alone in their extremism and in their exaggeration towards these scholars. And so this attitude is what similarly has aided in the spread of ghulu towards some scholars amongst some of the Salafis today. And that is sad, because if these individuals who are in the arena of da'wah were to tell the audience or tell their listeners or those who sit under them the correct methodology in how we are to deal with the statements of the scholars, and that we do not label others as misguided for simply opposing one of the scholars, then the spread of this ghulu towards scholars and taking their statements as if it is revelation would not be as we see today. The Shaykh continues, Shaykh Abdurrahman al-Muallimi rahimahullah, and he says, because those that remained from the people of truth saw that if they disproved of those who went to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, that they would have something attributed to them that they were the foremost in hating. Meaning those who were in the time of Isa alayhi salam and would make inkar of others or disprove of those who went to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, these individuals, when they saw others being attacked or others being accused of that which they were free of hating Isa alayhi salam and belittling Isa alayhi salam and harboring hatred for them, when they saw that others were accused of that, that deterred them from continuing with this inkar. That caused them to stop making inkar and stop, disproving of this type of exaggeration, which then aided in the spreading of this ghulu. When they became silent and when they stopped making inkar, because they did not wish to be attributed, or they did not wish something to be attributed to them, that they were the foremost in hating, and that is belittling Isa alayhi salam and hating Isa alayhi salam. And because they did not want that, they then remained quiet and would not criticize them or disprove of them doing that. And then that aided their silence afterwards, then aided in the spread of this exaggeration, and that we see it up until this day, where over 1 billion people are now worshipping Isa alayhi salam and attributing to him uluhiyya. Likewise, Shaykh Abdurrahman al-Muallimi rahimahullah continues to say, he says, thus, continuing to speak about those who stopped making inkar, or those who did make inkar of those who went to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, he says, thus, majority of the people began hating them, and they were harmed by way of these accusations. And this is what we see also today. And likewise today, when those who uphold balance and disprove of ghulu towards certain scholars and their positions and their rulings, As a result, they are accused of hating those scholars in the same way that the people of innovation do. Meaning they say, this individual, even though he is a Salafi, even though he spreads material from ulama of Ahl Sunnah, even though he defends the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, even though his aqidah is Salafiyah, that because he does not take this position of this scholar, this particular scholar, then it is a must that he is hiding Hizbiyah and Bid'ah, similar to the actual open, apparent people of innovation. And this is from injustice. This is from injustice from those who do this. Then they likewise become hated by many of the common Salafis and are harmed by way of that. And we also see that when we see these types of people attacking well-known Salafi callers or well-known Salafi mashayikh who have spent years and years and years calling to the true methodology, that because they oppose this scholar or that scholar, then all of their da'wah, all of their durus, all of their dawrat are warned against. Why? Because he does not follow so-and-so. Because he is not with so-and-so. Because he is not connected to such and such masjid or such and such markaz. Because he prays there and he does not pray here. Right? Because he attends that khutbah and he does not attend this khutbah. Because she walks with those sisters and she does not walk with these sisters. All of these things are these things are put above the actual Salafiyya and Aqidah of these individuals. And so likewise, just like those individuals in the time of Isa alayhi salam, when they would make inkar of them for going to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, then they became hated by the majority of the people and they became harmed by way of that. And in our time, we see that those who are trying to uphold balance and warn against this ghulu are the ones who are maligned, the ones who are slandered, the ones who are slandered and accused of things that they are free of. Things such as hating this scholar and that scholar. Things such as when they say the likes of when this person is making inkar of ghulu regarding going towards that or ghulu towards this particular scholar, they say, for example, this is just a scapegoat. This is just a scapegoat, or this is just a proxy. In reality, this person wants to slander and attack that scholar. Meaning these individuals have no other alternative. It does not cross their mind that in reality they are simply being warned against, or they are being warned from going to extremes regarding scholars and teaching the Muslims to do so as well. The Shaykh, rahimahullah, Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Mu'allimi, then continues and he says, so that deterred them from disproving of them, meaning those that went to extremes, and left the environment for shaitan. And what he means by that is that for the falsehood to spread. And once the people started to hate them, once they were worried to be accused of things that they were free of, then they became quiet. Then that left the environment for shaitan to do his work and spread this falsehood and this ghulu towards Isa alayhi salam. And close to this, he says, meaning similar to this phenomena that he just described, are the extreme Rawafid Shia, and likewise the extreme Quburiyin, those who worship the dead in the graves, and the extreme blind followers, meaning those who blind follow the madahib and shuyukh. So the Shaykh rahimahullah has described this phenomenon and attributed it to the worst types of people, to the Christians who went to extremes regarding Isa alayhi salam, to the Rafida Shia who went to extremes regarding the Sahaba, some of the Sahaba, to the grave worshippers who went to extremes regarding the Salihin in their graves, the righteous and the pious in their graves, and likewise to the blind followers, the Muqallidun, those who blind follow their madahib or certain ulama or certain shuyukh. And so what an unfortunate group then to be coupled with if you are one claiming to be upon the methodology of Salafiyya and one who boasts to have been doing so for over 25 years, and as we hear so often, For as we hear ever so often, what a sad state to be in, and what a sad reality for those that adopt this methodology due to their trusts for these types of individuals, those who are claiming to have been giving da'wah and calling to pure Salafiyah and nothing but pure Salafiyah. However, they have indoctrinated those who take from them to blind follow scholars, to raise scholars beyond the station and the position that the ulama have given them and placed them on. All in the name of Salafiyah and Sunnah and taking from the ulama. We ask Allah for guidance to that which is correct.